Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Ammar, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are absolutely thrilled to be joined by Adam Walter, president of Humanize IT, a platform and coaching movement dedicated to transforming MSPs into strategic, relationship-driven advisors using a simple but powerful framework: assess, recommend, propose, roadmap. Through tools, community, and podcasting, Adam's work is helping MSPs save time, create new revenue, and evolve their client relationships. Adam, welcome to Founders Future.
Greetings. How's it going?
Fantastic. How are you?
Oh, I'm just kicking off a Monday here, so
There you
I'm
go.
I'm pretty happy to. I'm all rejuvenated from the weekend.
I'm excited to dive in. I always like to start from the beginning. So can you take us back to before you started Humanize IT? What were you doing at the time? And then what was really the motivation behind starting the company?
Yeah, so I came from the corporate world, and my history was with. I have a bachelor of science, computer science. I was a sysadmin for years. Moved into more of a security networking stance, and I was hired for a large corporation where I did the buck stops here engineer. So I was like a tier three, tier four style engineer where I could order around directors, CEOs, whatever it took to get the job done. They were tired of outages taking forever. And so from there, I went on into more management positions with a CISO role, director of critical infrastructure security, and did some cloud migrations with AWS. And eventually I just missed working for small businesses. And my wife said, why don't you start your own company? And so I started a fractional CIO company where I started advising an underserved area, which was small private schools. And I started getting them into Chromebook programs, helping them standardize their stack and seeing everything that was missing. And I was using a gap analysis tool at the time to figure out, like, what are they missing? I had a standardized approach. And eventually I bought that gap analysis software and I turned it into a tool to help facilitate better conversations. The problem I found when I was working with small businesses was a lot of MSPs, I'd say most MSPs, are not asking their clients questions about what their actual problems are, what they're trying to achieve as a company. And
Yeah.
so these companies are very underserved. They don't see the value of technology because they're just being sold PCs and servers and firewalls. They're not being sold business solutions that are helping a school teach more kids. They're not being sold a solution that helps flower shops sell more flowers or hot dog vendors sell more hot dogs. They're just there to serve the technology. And so I wanted to create a platform that facilitated those conversations of what is
Mm,
their client actually trying to do.
I love that. For the listeners that don't know, what is an MSP?
It's a multi-service provider. So when you got like an IT consultant where they're going to come in and advise you on what services you need, they're going to come in and offer you everything from PC repair to firewall servicing to cloud maintenance, managing your license for Microsoft Office 365. And so they call themselves a multi-service provider. They'll even take care of your phones for you. So the name came up, I think, around 2010. They
Yeah.
went from IT consultants to MSPs.
Yeah. So you were doing the fractional CIO work before. Are you still doing that today? Or
I've tilted back on that. I haven't really pushed into it. I've considered just to keep myself sharp is offering up my fractional CIO to some people, but I'm just too busy running the company right now.
okay, a good problem to have.
Yep.
Let's fast forward to give the listeners a little bit more context into Humanize IT. Who would you say is your ideal customer, and what are the different ways solutions offer services that you provide?
Yeah, I got two different ideal customers.
Okay.
One is our corporate members, and those are the enterprise level MSPs where they have 30 MSPs under them. And
Mm,
they need to know what those MSPs are doing and how they're servicing clients. They want to be able to consistently deliver to all of the clients of all those MSPs. And our
got
tool allows for a multi-tenancy option where it doesn't matter if this client is using this software stack, this client is using a different software stack. We are able to deliver to them, and you can see into that MSP what's going on. The second thing we like to look for is MSPs that have around five account managers where they're growing, they need to coordinate efforts, but they don't have a tool to help those account managers talk to customers on a consistent basis.
Got it. So it's mainly MSPs in one of those two roles, one of those two situations. Now let's dive into a little bit of the tool and what you're actually helping people solve, what problems and solutions. That
Yeah,
makes
the actual solution problem is here is that you have these tools like with as a technology provider where you're monitoring endpoints, like a bunch of PCs, bunch of firewalls, bunch of servers out there. You're gathering all this information so you can keep working on them. And then you have your customer relationship where you're trying to manage, hey, what are we doing as customers? What are we doing with them? And you want to meet with them like on a bigger customer, you want to meet with them like quarterly or monthly. Smaller customers, you want to meet them annually. We have nowhere to put all this data. So usually people put things in a Word document, they type it up, and they keep it on SharePoint somewhere.
mm,
Our software automatically compiles all that project information, everything you're doing with this client. You've got 100 clients. We're going to keep all those projects straight for you. We're going to keep them categorized with the clients. And then we're going to help you say, I need to meet with Acme Core. Here's all the things you're doing for them. Here's what's going on. Here's their assets that overdue. All those things you would spend hours trying to build up and pull from all your tools, they're already there at your fingertips. So you can focus on, hey, let's talk about what the client needs rather
mm.
than teaching them, here's all the things going wrong. Let's focus on the client conversation. And then I can look at all the projects that are going on. I can say, hey, you know what? Let's prioritize this one because it's going to help you sell more hot dogs next week.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. There you go. For your company, what is the actual monetization? Is this like a software platform that people can go, it's a monthly subscription? What does that specifically look like?
Yeah, we're a software as a service. We do a monthly subscription where it's all in. We simplified our pricing plan down to one package that covers
Okay.
everything. And then we also coach and help you understand where you're going as a company. And
Mm,
so rather than getting a piece of software and walking away, we dive in with a relationship. We want you to feel valued. We want you to have somebody that you can just say, "Oh, I got a big client coming in. I don't know what to do here. Hey, get a hold of Adam or Skip or Richard or one of the staff at Humanize IT. We'll do a one-on-one, help prep you for that meeting and build that relationship."
powerful. So is it like preset calls where you get a monthly, weekly access to us, or is it as needed basis?
For our basic plan, it's an as needed. If you get onto our premium plan, our VCIO plan, for 1 year, we'll meet with you weekly and build your program from scratch. So the
Wow.
first 4 months are process development, and you're meeting with your clients the first week. But the first 4 months are process development. The next 8 months are us walking through the year with you, holding you accountable, making adjustments, and being an advisor on a weekly basis to make sure that your program is successful. At the end of 12 months, we walk away. You become a basic member. You still get ad hoc access to us, but you have a program and you no longer need that hand holding, but you are mature and you're ready to go.
Very interesting. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it evolved into you were doing the fractional work, then you started the platform because you realized, hey, they need these types of tools and they're missing these resources. You created that, and then you also added, hey, they also need hand-holding and coaching, consulting to elevate their businesses to the next level.
Yes.
Powerful. So let's shift a little bit over to the back end of the business. And before I do that, the reason that I wanted to recap that is because I think there's a lot of learning lessons for founders there in terms of always evolving and listening to your customer needs and then creating solutions based off of that.
Okay.
When it comes to the client acquisition and bringing on more customers, what does that actually look like for you? What channels are you leveraging?
We used to do a lot of conferences, and this year we're trying an experiment. We're rolling back on conferences. IT conferences are really expensive, like
Okay.
$30,000 for a 6 foot table. And when you do 5, 10 of these a year, that's most of your budget for everything. And you see a lot of vendors lean into the conferencing because they're told they need to be in the conferencing. It's how you establish presence. And this is
Yep.
a bit incorrect. Yeah, you're going to establish presence that way and people will see you, but most MSPs don't go to conferences.
Mm.
They're at their desks, they're working, they're on the road, they're visiting with clients. And so we spent considerable amount of money marketing that way on the sales funnel. And we have a great website that does have a top of the funnel activities there and has great collateral, things that you actually can use that actually are meaningful. They're not just cheap little like flyers. They actually help you. And then
Yep.
that kind of dips people in. So what we noticed was most people that were coming in and buying our product weren't coming from conferences. They were coming from our top of the funnel with our website. And that was coming from us stirring the pot with newsletters, offering up educational materials online, creating partnership programs. And that was far outperforming all these conferences we're going to. We also noticed with conferences, we kept seeing the same people over and over again. We weren't getting an expanded presence. We were
Yeah.
just kind of part of this little closed loop channel.
Yeah.
And so this year, we've really leaned into Google SEO. We've leaned into some marketing strategies with videos and podcasts and really dynamic content. And it takes a little while for that to start taking off, but we're starting to see that maturity hit, and we really want to hit by this fall.
Got it. So you're taking more of an organic marketing approach.
Yeah, and we're taking some of that money we saved off of conferences and we're pouring it into key features that solve specific problems for MSPs. Like right
Okay.
now, we're doing a project sync that is 100% webhook with the different products you have, like your PSA, your ticketing system. And that way you never have to log into your ticketing system. Your client constantly sees and is reminded of all the things you're doing for them automatically. You never have to log into our tool. So for a lot of our busier clients, our lower mature clients that don't meet as often with their members, they are able to show value automatically because clients read email or at least they glance at it. They'll never log into your portal. They're never going to call you and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" You can do a drip with them that show them your value easily. And that's a
Mm,
product we're releasing this week or in the next 2 weeks. It's in beta right now, but we would not have been able to do all that development and we wouldn't have been able to spend all that time mapping out this feature if we had been going to conferences all spring.
yeah. Yeah. That's a great point. One thing that I always love to talk about on this podcast, especially when it comes to any sort of consulting business or just any business in general, is really the idea of building a predictable lead generation machine. So having some thing that brings consistent leads in and out. I always use the analogy of a faucet where you can turn it on, turn it off as you want to grow or as you need to increase capacity. So when it comes to building a predictable lead generation process, what is your thought process around that? And is there anything specific that you're doing to implement that aside from more content, building the organic outreach, and getting more people in your ecosystem?
Yeah, we have different areas we lean into at different times of the year. But right now, we're really good with our podcast. So you can check out our podcast, Humanize IT, and it's been taking off. And we hired somebody to push that, and then I also do short form content from that, and
Cool.
that stirs the pot as well. And then that loads up our newsletter with great content. So we're not just doing AI generated cookie cutter newsletters. We're doing really nice, heartfelt newsletters that are built with content that is fresh
Mhm.
and new every week, that is valuable to our members, that are helping them move their needle forward. And I think that because they see that value, we have a pretty high open rate on our newsletters. And we see a lot of people respond back to that and they'll sign up. It took us a little while to figure out the correlation to where the inbound was coming from and realize a lot of it's coming from our newsletter. Is that when we're consistently delivering our newsletter and we're really being real about that, that we see these organic inbounds happen a lot. And when we back off of like our content and online and stirring the pot, we notice that those organic leads go down. So we're making sure we're consistently emailing and without being overbearing and letting
Mhm.
people see who we are.
Yeah. So it sounds like the name of the game is getting more people on the email list and being very consistent with that.
Yes.
I love that. What does the sales process look like? So once a lead does come in, they raise their hand, they're interested. What are the different steps that they go through for them to become a client?
We got a pretty good funnel. Like you come in, you get a demo of our software, and we show you where it's going to be. I try to reach out and say, what problem are you trying to solve? I really want to hit upon that because our software is pretty deep. It does solve some really interesting. We are very focused on client success, and
Okay.
we want to make sure that we're like, okay, which area of client success are you struggling in that we can give you a quick win? So I do a 30-minute demo, and then they can come in and they can map out, oh, I really like that.
Yeah.
And if they don't sign up for a trial after that, we do either, hey, they're going to sign up for a trial, or two, we're going to do a follow up meeting to ask more questions. Most of the time, people want to sign up for our free trial. It requires a credit card, but that's like how we filter out the people that are serious and not serious, as well as
Mhm.
keep scammers out of our website. And the people sign up and they play around with it and they immediately get coaching. They immediately get hands-on experience with one of our coaches. And we try to solve the problems that they're having in those first few days. We tell people like it only takes about an hour to start our software. Most other SaaS platforms, you're looking at a week's, months onboarding time. Our software is different in that we are an hour. You put your API keys in, you're ready to go. You'll spend the
Wow,
next 3, 4, 5 years improving things and it'll never be done in reality. But you're up and running and you can solve the problem that you needed to within the first hour. We put a lot of coding into our platform to make sure it's that simple.
that's powerful. Are you running the demo calls, or is there a team behind you, like a sales force that does that?
I like to run the demo calls for now. I've got some salespeople that do the follow-ups, and eventually I'd like to get them to the point where they are doing the demos. But because of we're more of a C-suite style, it's
Mm,
harder to train up a salesperson to answer questions and get the trust that you would from somebody like me or a Richard or a Skip that has that C-level experience.
got it. Yeah, just more credibility, more expertise on the call increases conversions. So that makes perfect sense. When you think of your vision and where you want to take the company, let's say over the next 12 months, are there any specific revenue targets, performance targets? What are you really striving towards?
Yeah, membership targets really right now. We want to expand our market presence. So we've got a couple things we're kicking around the office here, lowering the barrier of entry so that there's a single tool that people can use that not the full suite, but if you're a low maturity MSP, something that we can carry a win for you for at a lower price point. We've got we're ramping up our SEO right now, so we really want to get to the point where this fall we've got our videos, our audio, everything is really tuned in on the audience. We have a very well built list of people who have wanted to talk to us for years, and we're going to really hone down on that and make sure that LinkedIn, Google, Facebook, the socials are all like firing on all pistons. So when you do these big product releases this July, that people are like, oh my gosh, I've heard of it, Humanize IT, but I didn't know they did that. And
Yeah.
in that case, we can do a big splash this summer that when people, we see our busy season is always in the fall. And so we're
Yep.
hoping to make this fall a super busy season.
That's exciting. There you
Yeah.
go.
And then we're also looking into partnerships with larger MSPs that
Okay.
are those conglomerate levels where, hey, you work with us, we will make sure that your acquisitions or your partners are highly successful. So more people want to join your consortium because they know that it's a very easy transition. They know that they're immediately going to become part of this family and they get these resources. And that's because Humanize IT facilitates the communication between all these MSPs.
Yeah. What do you feel like is the biggest challenge you're facing right now as a business owner?
Noise in the market. There's so many people trying to milk MSPs for every dollar they're worth.
Mm,
Everybody's got some gimmick, everybody's got some trick. And so these are smart engineers.
yeah.
They are good and they are trained in how to get rid of phishing and how to get rid of sales tactics and how to smell out this stuff. And so getting a genuine interest is difficult because they have been just beat over the head because this is a rich industry. It is a big industry with a lot of money and they're just used to everybody doing an ask.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. I'm super curious if you could talk to new entrepreneurs and give them a piece of advice that you wish you knew when you were first starting off. Something you know now, but you didn't know at that time. What would that be?
Do your market analysis really heavily. Focus on it. What problem are you solving for what group of people?
Mm,
Think really hard on that. Are other people trying to do this? So when I came in, it was an easy gimme for CIO services. Then when I bought my software as a service company, I solved the problem I was having.
yeah.
It was great. But if I had spent more time doing market research and seeing what the common problem was, then I could have focused on features earlier that would hit a bigger audience rather than Adam's game playing. play the game that the MSPs are playing. Where are they at? And meet them there. Like they really want this email delivery. I should have known that years ago. Instead, I thought everybody wants to get into a portal. And so I built a portal first. And
Mm,
I should have flipped them around. If I would have talked to MSPs more and spent more time saying, okay, what are you actually struggling with? I could have mapped out a better workflow for them.
I love that. What's the best piece of advice you've received around scaling your company?
Run the called play.
The cult play?
Run the called play. A lot of people pivot so fast that their company can't keep up. Like
Yeah.
you're going this direction now, you're going that direction. No, I defined my company as an account management software service. We are going to go in this direction. Now we'll adjust and we'll be adaptable or agile along the way, but I'm not going to switch our directions. I'm not going to say mid-year, hey, we're going to start going to conferences here in 2025. No, we already said we are going to try this for 1 year, see how it goes. And if it
Hmm.
goes really well, we're going to double down on it next year.
Boom. I love that. Now, if there's MSPs listening to this or just anybody that's interested in what you're doing right now, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
HumanizeIT.biz. We got a great set of videos out there. We've got a nice YouTube channel you can search up. We have a podcast that's over 250 episodes.
Let's
We do
go.
it every week, and it is pretty amazing. Our LinkedIn feed is very active. You can always see us. We'll be posting great advice every Thursday. We have a weekly playbook we run through, and we run through the same one every year. So you know what you should be working on and when. And we will help you. Whether or not you are an active customer, you will see content, you will get advice, and you will get coaching from us. If you like our LinkedIn, follow our podcast, and check us out on YouTube.
There you go. Adam's here to provide value, whether you work with him or not. I love it. Anything else that you want to leave us off with before I let you go?
Not just we are in a really good spot. If there's never been a better time to come on Humanize IT because we're actively developing some really cool features that have not been done in the field before, because they are complicated. They are hard to program. And once we are done with this, we are going to have something that you can deliver to your customers that no one else can. And you can be on the forefront of that and giving us feedback if you're into our company right now.
Boom. Adam, thank you so much for your time today.
Yep.
Awesome. So that wraps up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you're a business owner and you're looking to scale your business and really enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to discover how we can support your growth journey. Until then, keep on climbing.